What is an experimental group? Let's explore this fundamental concept in scientific research. An experimental group is a set of subjects in scientific research that receives a specific treatment or manipulation of variables. In contrast, control groups remain unaltered and provide a baseline for comparison with the experimental group. Let's visualize how experimental and control groups relate to each other in scientific research. The experimental group receives the treatment or manipulation being studied, while the control group remains unaltered to provide a baseline for comparison. Researchers then compare outcomes between both groups to determine the effect of the treatment. Experimental groups are fundamental to the scientific method. They allow researchers to observe the effects of specific variables under controlled conditions, test hypotheses systematically, and establish cause and effect relationships. The scientific method provides a structured approach to research, and experimental groups are a vital component of this process. The scientific method begins with a question about an observed phenomenon that requires investigation. A hypothesis is then formulated, a testable explanation for the observation. Next, experiments are designed and conducted. This is where experimental groups become essential. During experimentation, data is collected from both experimental and control groups. The data is then analyzed to determine patterns and relationships. Finally, conclusions are drawn about whether the hypothesis is supported or refuted. Let's focus specifically on how experimental groups fit into this process. Experimental groups are the subjects that receive the treatment or intervention being studied. In the experimental group, researchers manipulate the independent variable to observe its effects. Meanwhile, the control group does not receive the treatment and serves as a baseline for comparison. Both groups are measured for changes in the dependent variable, allowing researchers to determine if the treatment had an effect. Proper experimental design is crucial for drawing valid scientific conclusions. Random assignment of subjects to groups reduces bias and ensures that observed effects are due to the independent variable. Adequate sample size increases the reliability of results and the power to detect real effects. Controlling all variables except the one being tested ensures the internal validity of the experiment. Finally, replication of experiments by different researchers confirms the findings and strengthens scientific knowledge. Let's visualize how experimental groups contribute to the development of scientific knowledge. Well-designed experimental groups are the foundation for collecting reliable data. Data from these groups is analyzed to determine if observed differences are statistically significant. From this analysis, researchers draw conclusions about their hypothesis. Valid conclusions contribute to the broader body of scientific knowledge. This knowledge then informs future experimental designs, creating a cycle of scientific discovery. Without properly designed experimental groups, scientific conclusions lack validity and reliability, making them the cornerstone of rigorous scientific research. Subject selection and assignment is a critical step in experimental design. The way subjects are selected and assigned to groups directly impacts the validity of your experimental results. Random assignment is the gold standard for creating unbiased experimental groups. It gives each subject an equal chance of being assigned to any group. Random assignment reduces selection bias, distributes both known and unknown variables across groups, and strengthens causal claims in your research. Stratified sampling divides the population into distinct subgroups before random sampling. This ensures representation from all important categories. Several other sampling methods exist, each with different strengths and applications. The right method depends on your research goals, resources, and population characteristics. Improper subject selection can lead to seriously biased results. When your sample doesn't represent the actual population, your findings can't be generalized. To summarize, proper subject selection and assignment is foundational to valid experimental research. Random assignment reduces bias, while matching your sampling method to your research goals ensures meaningful results. Variable manipulation is the cornerstone of experimental research. Researchers use three main techniques to manipulate independent variables. Direct intervention involves physically or chemically altering the experimental subject. This could include administering medication, changing dietary components, or surgically modifying subjects. Environmental changes modify the surroundings or conditions of the subject. Examples include altering temperature, lighting, or social context. Stimulus presentation involves exposing subjects to different stimuli or information, such as different sounds, images, or educational materials. Successfully manipulating variables requires careful isolation of the variable being studied. First, clearly identify which variable you intend to manipulate. Second, control all other variables that might affect the outcome. Third, ensure consistent application of the manipulation across all experimental subjects. Finally, measure the effects appropriately to capture the true impact of your manipulation. Let's examine how variable manipulation works in practice with a plant growth and music study. In this experiment, researchers manipulate the type of music played to plants while keeping all other variables constant. To isolate the effect of music, all other variables must be controlled: soil composition, water amounts, light exposure, temperature, and plant characteristics. Through careful manipulation of just one variable, the type of music, researchers can determine whether and how music affects plant growth. Variable manipulation is a powerful technique that allows researchers to establish cause and effect relationships in experimental research. Control groups are a fundamental component of experimental design, providing the essential comparisons needed to draw valid scientific conclusions. A control group is a set of subjects that does not receive the experimental treatment and serves as a baseline for comparison with the experimental group. Let's examine the relationship between experimental and control groups. The experimental group receives the treatment or variable being tested, while the control group serves as the baseline for comparison. There are several types of control groups used in scientific research, each serving a specific purpose. Negative control groups receive no treatment at all, establishing the baseline state or behavior of the subjects. Positive control groups receive a treatment with a known, predictable outcome. These validate that the experimental method can detect changes. Placebo control groups receive an inert substitute that appears identical to the treatment. This controls for psychological effects and observer bias. Without proper control groups, researchers cannot determine if observed effects are due to the experimental treatment or other factors. Control groups help distinguish between actual treatment effects and coincidental changes. What might appear effective without controls could be revealed as ineffective when proper comparisons are made. Let's look at a case study examining ecosystem productivity. Researchers studying the effect of aquatic insects on plant productivity need to compare areas with and without these insects. By comparing areas with and without aquatic insects under otherwise identical conditions, researchers can determine the specific impact these insects have on ecosystem productivity. Without this control comparison, it would be impossible to isolate the insect's effect from other environmental factors. Control groups provide the standard against which experimental results are measured, ensuring that scientific conclusions are valid and reliable. In experimental research, properly measuring and analyzing outcomes is essential for drawing valid conclusions. Researchers use two main types of measurements: quantitative and qualitative. Quantitative measurements involve numerical data that can be precisely measured and statistically analyzed, such as height, weight, or counts. Qualitative measurements involve descriptive or categorical data, like color, texture, or behavioral observations. Objective data collection is crucial for ensuring research validity. This involves standardized protocols, blinding procedures to reduce bias, calibrated instruments, multiple measurements, and thorough documentation. Statistical analysis transforms raw data into meaningful insights. Researchers start with basic concepts like mean, median, standard deviation, and sample size. More advanced analysis includes statistical significance, typically indicated by p-values less than 0.05. Equally important is effect size, which measures the magnitude of differences between groups, commonly calculated using metrics like Cohen's d. Let's see how researchers might analyze data from a plant growth experiment with control and experimental groups. Here we have growth measurements displayed in a bar chart, including error bars representing standard deviation. Statistical analysis reveals that both experimental treatments produce significantly greater growth compared to the control group. Researchers use various visualization techniques to effectively communicate their findings. Common options include bar charts for categories, line graphs for trends, scatter plots for correlations, and box plots for distributions. To summarize, effective measurement and analysis in experimental research requires careful selection of measurement methods, standardized protocols, appropriate statistical tests, and clear visualization techniques. We now explore the key advantages that experimental groups offer in scientific research. First, experimental groups allow researchers to establish causality. By isolating and manipulating variables, scientists can determine true cause-effect relationships. Second, experimental groups create controlled environments where researchers can minimize external influences and focus exclusively on specific variables of interest. Third, experimental groups enable replication. Well-designed experimental protocols can be repeated by other researchers to verify findings, which is essential for scientific progress. Fourth, experimental groups support objective analysis. They produce quantifiable data that can be statistically analyzed to draw empirical, unbiased conclusions. Fifth, random assignment to experimental groups helps eliminate bias and confounding variables that could affect research results, strengthening the validity of conclusions. To summarize, experimental groups offer 5 key advantages. They establish causality, create controlled environments, enable replication, support objective analysis, and eliminate confounding variables through random assignment. While experimental groups are a cornerstone of scientific research, they come with important limitations and challenges that researchers must address. Let's examine the key limitations that can affect experimental research. External validity refers to how well results from controlled lab settings generalize to real-world conditions. Laboratory settings provide control but create artificial conditions that might not reflect the complexity of real-world environments. This creates a generalization gap that can limit the applicability of experimental findings. Another significant challenge is sample bias, where the participants selected for an experiment may not represent the broader population. If our sample is biased towards certain demographics or characteristics, our findings may not apply to the entire population. Ethical constraints represent a necessary limitation on what experiments can be conducted. Researchers must constantly balance scientific advancement with ethical considerations. Experiments must avoid causing harm to participants, using unjustified deception, violating informed consent, and invading privacy. Observer effects and participant reactivity occur when participants change their behavior because they know they're being observed. Under normal circumstances, people behave naturally. Their actions are spontaneous and unfiltered. However, when observed, participants often modify their behavior. This is known as the Hawthorne effect, where people act differently simply because they're part of an experiment. Fortunately, researchers have developed numerous strategies to address these limitations while maintaining scientific rigor. To improve external validity, researchers conduct field experiments in natural settings, replicate studies across diverse contexts, and use mixed methods approaches. Sample bias can be addressed through random selection procedures, stratified sampling techniques, and using larger, more diverse samples. Observer effects can be minimized through unobtrusive measurements, blind or double-blind experimental designs, and extended acclimation periods. The key is to acknowledge these limitations explicitly while implementing methodological safeguards to maintain scientific rigor. In this final section, we'll provide practical guidance on designing your own experiment with effective experimental groups. Designing a robust experiment involves following a systematic step-by-step approach. First, identify a specific and focused research question that's testable and measurable. Review existing literature and formulate clear hypotheses. Next, determine your variables. Identify what you'll manipulate, independent variable, what you'll measure, dependent variable, and what you'll keep constant, control variables. When selecting subjects, define your target population and determine an appropriate sample size for statistical power. Use random selection whenever possible. Establishing proper control groups is essential. This may include negative controls, positive controls, or placebo controls. Always use random assignment to minimize bias. When implementing treatments, standardize your protocols and consider blinding to reduce bias. Document all procedures thoroughly and maintain consistent conditions. For measuring outcomes, use validated measurement tools and collect data systematically to minimize measurement error. Finally, analyze your results using appropriate statistical tests. Consider both statistical significance and practical significance when interpreting your findings. Replicability is crucial in scientific research. Detail your methods thoroughly, use standardized protocols, and share your data and analysis procedures. Always consider ethics when designing experiments. Obtain informed consent, minimize harm and risks, ensure privacy and confidentiality, and seek ethical approval when necessary. It's important to acknowledge the limitations of your experiment, such as sample size constraints, potential confounding variables, generalizability issues, and measurement limitations. Now you're ready to embark on your scientific journey. Applying these principles of experimental design will help you conduct meaningful research and contribute valuable knowledge to your field.